Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about Theme Chronicle Scrap Dinos. Now, Scrap Dinos is sort of the antithesis to the Dinomorphia Dino deck that we posted before. The scrap version of it is much more combo heavy. Like, the combo is, it's a bit long, it's pretty crazy. But what you're utilizing is the synchro capability of the deck, where you're setting up an end board of your Naturia Beast, your Overtex Quadlus, as well as an Apollosa, which will have either 24 or 3200 attack points, depending on how crazy you can go. So basically, you get infinite spell and trap card negates, you're going to get 3 or 4 monster negates, and you're going to have an additional negate here. This is only a spell or trap card negate. This is fine. It sort of is nullified a little bit by Naturia Beast, but, you know, it's nice to have both on the off chance they're playing like Kaiju's or something like that, which is something you need to bear in mind. But there's not really any good level 7 or higher targets off of Double Evolution Pill apart from this one. We're also playing the actual original Ultimate Tyranno in the place of UTC, just because he's big and can be summoned. Like, that's literally the only reason. You could also play the original Superconductor Tyranno, or Superconductor. If you want to play this guy instead, you can. I was playing the Ultimate Tyranno because it's an Earth monster, but it doesn't really come up in the gameplay. But it's just generally a more aggressive option to be summoned off of your Double Evolution Pill. Because, again, the Overtex is somewhat weak. You're going to say in one of the games we weren't actually playing one of these guys. We only had the one target for our Double Evolution Pill, and our second copy was just dead the whole game. So yeah, whole idea of the deck: infinite spell trap card negates, an additional negate on top of infinite, so it's infinity plus 1 spell and trap card negates, as well as having either 3 or 4 monster negates on top of that with your Apollosa. And yeah, if you like this sort of content, if you like the coverage we're doing over the Theme Chronicle event, or even just our regular deck profiles, we are going to be doing an in-depth breakdown of this deck toward the end of the video, where I talk about the combo. Although you're going to see it in the gameplay, I'm going to do the majority of the combo explanations as we're doing the combos. So definitely watch the gameplay, because it can melt your brain a wee bit if you don't know exactly what you're doing. But yeah, if you like what you're seeing, feel free to subscribe, like the video, and let me know what decks you're playing in the Theme Chronicle event. I know Orcust is very popular. It's also probably the strongest deck in the format, if I'm being honest. Orcust is definitely, I think, the strongest. But there are a whole bunch of different decks you can be playing, so let me know down below what you're having a lot of fun with in the event, and what you want to be seeing. So with no further ado, let's get into game number 1. Alrighty, we're going to show this replay off first. This is us going first. Basically, what you want to be seeing with this deck is there's a whole bunch of 2-card combos, right? You need 2-card combos. Oviraptor, as well as True King Lithosagium with any Earth monster, is one of those combos. So we're going to search our deck for the Baby Ceratosaurus here. We're going to utilize our Lithosagium, pop 2 Earths in order to summon itself out of the field. Well, only one of them has to be an Earth, right? So technically, Oviraptor plus Lithosagium is a combo by itself, because you only need to pop 1 Earth to summon it. 1 Earth in any other monster. However, having 2 Earth monsters in hand makes the combo significantly stronger, because you also get to look at your opponent's extra deck and pick out the cards you don't like. So we pop 2, summon Lithosagium, we look at our opponent's extra deck, we pick out their Union Kyber, their Beatrice, and their Zeus. Gone. Done. All their 1-ofs, we snipe. All their most important 1-ofs, snipe them out of the extra deck. From the looks of it, we're playing Drytrons, right? And that's another really useful part of this. You can see exactly what deck you're going up against. Now, our Baby Ceratosaurus, when popped, will summon Scrap Raptor, which is the whole beginning of the Scrap combo. It activates its effect, pops itself to search our deck for Scrap Chimera, which can be now normal summoned, which will revive the Scrap Raptor. Oviraptor then is going to pop the Raptor to resurrect the Baby Ceratosaurus. This comes up in the combo later. You don't need to have a baby on field, but it makes the Scrap combo a lot better. We link off our remaining Scrap monster with our Lithosagium. Lithosagium's done its job, it doesn't need to be around anymore, and you want to keep these 2 on board. Scrap Wyvern then is going to resurrect the Scrap Raptor and then destroy it right away to trigger its second effect, to summon from deck our Scrap Golem, as well as popping another card on the field afterwards. The card we're going to pop is, of course, the Baby Ceratosaurus, to get additional combos out of it. So now it's going to summon from our deck the Miscellaneousaurus, which is going to act as just a secondary level 4. We're going to grab Scrap Raptor because we didn't have Misk at the beginning of the game. This is why we searched for it now. Scrap Golem once per turn will revive a Scrap Monster. This is where we get our Naturia Beast, right? So Scrap Golem brings back the Scrap Raptor. You summon out Gallant Granite. Gallant Granite will detach a material, this case Misk, to search our deck for the Nemesis Keystone. Nemesis Keystone then will return a banished monster into our deck in order to summon itself to the field. We're going to use Misk's effect just to summon out the Animador Darkosaur. We're not going to activate this guy's effect. All we needed to do was banish a monster, so we can use our Keystone's effect, which will return Misk back to summon itself. Level 4 plus level 1, there's your Naturia Beast, infinite spell and trap card negates right there. Then we're going to link 3 off into Apollousa. We could have done link 4, but I wanted to keep the Scrap Golem around for follow-up on the off chance. I didn't think our opponent was going to be able to play through both of these with 4 cards left in hand. But on the off chance, we're going to bring a Quadalus as well. You could technically have argued about using the double evolution pill first and then link 4 into Apollousa using the Quadalus to give it 3200 attack points, which likely would have been a better play. But, you know, I don't know. Sue me. What are you going to do? It's still decent. Our opponent, and again, like I said, we're playing against Tritrons. We know right away our opponent can't play through this. He goes to activate one of his effects. He gets negated right off the bat. And our opponent very, very quickly realizes that he is not winning this game. And he scoops it up. How are you going to beat infinite spell card negates while playing a ritual deck? It's simply not going to happen. It simply can't. Unfortunate. But yeah, that's the sort of combo. You're going to be doing that in one form or fashion or another throughout most of your games, utilizing a wide range of 2-card combos, right? And I'm going to talk about which cards combo at the end in order to get you your sort of full result. The branching combo paths, I'm not going to be able to explain them all in one go, but I'm going to tell you where your starting points are, what your 2-card combos are, and what exactly you can do with them. So anyway, that's it for game number 1. Now you've got a good glimpse at the setup here. What we're going to do now is go into game number 2. Alrighty, getting into game 2 here. This hand is busted, right? This hand is super popular. Any one of these 2 cards together is full combo, right? Except for Misk and Lost World, right? These 2 don't combo together, but everything else does. Misk and Lost World, well, even Misk and Lost World kind of does combo ish. Oviraptor and Lost World is perfect, right? That's your ideal combo. Misk and Lost World is not that great going first. Baby Ceratosaurus and Lost World isn't that great going first, but these 2 are good going second. But Oviraptor and Misk is full combo, Oviraptor and Ceratosaurus full combo, Oviraptor Lost World is full combo. Basically, you want to be seeing, if it's not obvious, you want to be seeing the Oviraptor. The only bad thing is we have Golem in hand, which means that it can't really be used this game. It is a bit of a brick, but it's fine. We're going to go Lost World, use Misk to protect our dinos. We're going to Oviraptor here, Oviraptor, and is going to be Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 is Lost World. Lost World gives him a Jureg token. Oviraptor then searches our deck for the Petit Tranodon. You know your deck is good when you're running out of good options to search. We didn't even really need this card. We just didn't have anything better to search. We're going to attempt to pop the Jureg token to revive Misk. Then we're going to use Lost World to protect the Jureg token by popping a Baby Ceratosaurus in deck. Baby Ceratosaurus, when destroyed, will summon Scrap Raptor. And here we go. And now we just do the Scrap combo. Scrap combo, it's going to be virtually identical except the last step because we drew the Scrap Golem, unfortunately. We're going to link 2 off into the Scrap Wyvern here. Scrap Wyvern, we're going to Misk to banish to summon out an Archosaur. Archosaur pop a baby to summon. Try to grab the double evolution pill, and then we're going to summon a baby. If you can put a... Oh no, we summoned Giant Rex. I feel like we should have summoned a baby there. That was maybe my bad. If you can, prior to using your Scrap Wyvern's effect, if you want to put a baby on board, that's probably what you want to be doing. Right? Scrap Wyvern, having Giant Rex though is great because we can banish it off a double evolution pill later. We're going to go Raptor from deck. Raptor pop the Archosaur, or sorry, Wyvern pop the Archosaur. We're going to go into the Gallant Granite now using our 2 level 4s. Gallant Granite, detach our Giant Rex, grab the Nemesis Keystone. Nemesis Keystone then bounces Misk back to summon itself out the field, and there's your Naturia Beast. Easy as that. It's super consistent. Double evolution pill, banish Giant Rex plus Keystone, who both have effects when banished. Summon out the Overtex Quadalus. Giant Rex comes out to field. Then we're going to link 3 off into Apollousa. Now Lost World does interfere with your Apollousa a bit by reducing its attack points, but it's still 2 negates. Our Nemesis Keystone then comes back to hand. So we're in a very good position, infinite spells and traps negates, and our opponent is playing Weather Painters. This is an abstract kind of pain, so it is Weather Painters versus infinite spell and trap card negates. That is a tough break, my guy. That is sadness. And there it is. There's our opponent just scooping it up. There's nothing they could do about that. That is sadness. Weather Painters versus infinite spell and trap negates. Not a winning combo. Not a winning combo at all, my friend. But yeah, again, that's just another demonstration of different methods you can utilize to go into this combo, even if you open up like some of your bricks, like the Scrap Golem, Scrap Chimera sort of thing. But yeah, no, 100% easy games. Let's get into the next one. Now, this one is a doozy. We do open up full combo here. Lost World plus Oviraptor. You love to see it. Oviraptor is almost always going to be searching for your Misk, but on this occasion, Misk doesn't do much for us. We still grab it though, because so long as we have it in Grave, we can use Oviraptor's secondary effect. We're going to ditch Misk the Grave to use our Oviraptor. Oviraptor then would pop the token, but we protect it by destroying a Baby Ceratosaurus. Baby Ceratosaurus summoning out another Baby Ceratosaurus so we can utilize our Misk. Normally this would be the Scrap Raptor, but we know that we're going to summon this guy. What the Archosaur does is it pops another Dino either in your hand or on your field, and then you search your deck for the double evolution pill. So we summoned the baby because we knew we wanted to destroy something off of this, so we simply destroyed the baby we just summoned, and now we're going to use the baby to go into Scrap Raptor. So we just delayed it by a step. Scrap destroy itself, it's going to search our deck for the Chimera. Now we're going to normal summon the Chimera and revive the Scrap Raptor. Just going full Scrap combo, baby. Let's get this done. Gonna link off into the Scrap Wyvern, and our opponent goes Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, which is not a card I have seen in forever. But we ash it, and then we get hit with Nibiru, right? That's really unfortunate. Now, luckily, Nibiru only affects our token and the Scrap Raptor. Our dinosaurs are protected by Misk, so he's not tributing our dinos. So it's not the worst thing that's ever happened. We are going to just link off in the IP Masquerena here. We're going to go double evolution pill for our Quatalis, just to give us an additional spell trap negate. And yeah, we're going to rely on Masquerena going into Unicorn. Our opponent just goes straight to battle phase here. That's why we activate Masquerena now. They went to go into their battle phase, which is why we use Unicorn, discard 1, spin that Nibiru back into the deck. We still don't really know what our opponent is planning with that Phantasme, and I would really rather not be dealing with it. So we're simply going to negate it using Ash once more. We probably should have let that go through, right? We just let him summon it to the field, and then it does what? It does nothing. Our opponent's playing Spellbooks here. We decide we're going to use our Quatalis, sending itself to the grave, or destroying itself, sorry, to negate the Spellbook of Knowledge. We don't need him drawing more cards. We do grab a double evolution pill here for follow-up. Now, this is the game I mentioned. We don't have a second target for double evolution pill. This game is why we added the ultimate Tyranno, or the superconductor Tyranno, whichever one you decide to go for. This is the game that made me add it. Our opponent's going through a bunch of spellbook plays here, which I mean, he's just playing spells. He sets a card down face down. Now the card he searched for, which is almost certainly this, although we don't know yet, is Spellbook of Fate, which has a number of effects depending on how many spell books you banish for its effect. Its main effect, of course, is this last one of banishing one card your opponent controls, non-targeting, which is pretty busted. Mirror Jade on wheels. We top deck into Nemesis Keystone, which isn't like a very good top deck. We summon it out to the field simply to recycle a Misk, but we're going to get flipped face down. Oh, sorry, his blue boy get flipped face down. I don't know why, I guess. Oh, because when it gets flipped up, he searches his deck again. Interesting. We hit him for 17 directly. This is going to be a grind fest, and we know it, right? We've already sort of resigned ourselves to knowing that this is going to be tough. Our opponent's going to go High Priestess here, revealing Spellbook of Secrets, Spellbook of Life, and Spellbook of Wisdom, summoning herself out to the field here, 2500 beater. This is the Dark Magician, if you will, of Spellbooks, popping our field spell to boost its attack back up. Spellbook of Secrets is just a search card. He's going to summon out his Blue Boy once more. Blue Boy search for Spellbook of Power. He's going for some big damage here. He's going to boost up his Blue Boy so he can swing in over our Nemesis Keystone. And then he's going to take out our Unicorn. Power as well, if you destroy a monster by battle with a monster boosted by the Spellbook of Power, you get to search your deck for an extra Spellbook card. In this case, he's going for Eternity to add back Spellbook of the Master. Spellbook of the Master, then I believe it lets him, copy a Spellbook in his grave? Yes, it does. It lets him copy the effect of a Spellbook in grave to grab him Fate, and again, he just sets 2 and pass. This is going to be very difficult because we only have 1 usable card in hand, but luckily, we have the top deck of a lifetime. We got the Fossil Dig. What is Fossil Dig? Fossil Dig is anything we want it to be. In this case, we're grabbing the Royal Rare Oviraptor. Oviraptor grabbing Misk from deck to hand. Then we're going to pitch Misk to the graveyard. Utilizing Misk's effect, we're going to banish 2 cards to bring back Baby Sarasaurus. We'll now pop the baby to summon the Scrap Raptor back from the graveyard. Baby, when popped, will summon Giant Rex from the deck. Giant Rex plus our monster goes into our Synchro Dino Wrestler Giga Spinosavat, which will pop his High Priestess. It will then, unfortunately, immediately be banished, which is very unfortunate. But we're going to take out the blue boy, 1300 points of damage over his spellbook, and yeah. So this is a slow one. We're really sort of trying to chip through and grind through our opponent here, but their deck is built for this long game, so it's really an uphill battle. He adds Upstart Goblin to his hand, which he will now use, giving us an extra 1000 life points, but it doesn't look like he's able to top deck into anything useful, which suits us perfectly, but we don't draw a summonable monster. We're just going to swing. Take the 1800 points of damage, we're just going to grind him down. He can only take a couple more of those hits, and then eventually he will succumb to the dinos. He's going to go into Blue Boy again, searching his deck for Spellbook of the Master, but does he even have anything worth copying? I suppose he does. I think he's got secrets. Oh, he's got Eternity. Eternity's going to add secrets back to his hand. So now he can just activate it, I'm pretty sure. Spellbook of Life, revealing secrets and banishing the Blue Boy to resurrect the prophecy. But we're not going to allow that to happen. We're going to use Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion to negate the Spellbook of Life. Not a chance are we allowing that High Priestess to come back. Pot of Duality then, revealing the top 3 cards of his deck yet again. He's going to go for Ash Blossom, hoping it buys him another turn. And he's going to activate Spellbook of Secrets, using it to grab his Field Spell. Now the Field Spell has a lot of words on it, right? What does it actually do? If you control a spellcaster type monster, or if one is in your graveyard, you can grab a spellbook from your grave and put it on the bottom of your deck, and then draw one. So basically it just recycle one, draw one, which is kind of nice, and has some other basically effects as well, but we're not going to worry about those. We top deck into Nibiru, which is again a useless card. We're just going to have to settle for the damage we can get our hands on, swinging over his Blue Boy for a little bit at a time. Again, all we need is a summonable Dino, and the Oviraptor starts to make things happen. Our opponents are just going to set in defense. They're running on as fumes as much as we are. We've burned through a lot of their resources, so they're struggling to keep up with us, but we top deck in the Fossil Dig going into the Raptor, summon the Raptor and synchro off into the Scrap Dragon, setting our double evolution pill, popping it and his monster, open field for 2800 points to the face, and that is game. So that was a real grind fest against Spellbooks. Spellbooks are, unironically, they're here. They are here and they are not playing around. That was pretty good. I was a big fan of that. I hadn't faced this deck before in this event. I don't think I've faced this deck before in Master Duel. Full stop. But they sure are a thing. They're definitely a thing that exists. And they did give us quite a bit of trouble. So absolutely fair play to this chat. Trying to play a unique deck, but we did manage to squeak out a win in the end. Yeah, let's get into game number 4. It would not be a proper representation of the event if we didn't have some Orcust in there. Luckily for us though, our opponent is not playing the best of hands here. They summon out their Scrap Recycler. We ash the Scrap Recycler, which would otherwise have started their plays, and they have no choice but to pass turn. Unfortunate. Now, what are we looking like for 1-card combos? We have combos for days. We have Misk and Baby is a 1-card combo, right? You discard Misk, banish it to go Archosaur, destroy Baby, combo. So Misk and Baby is a combo, Fossil Dig and either of these is a combo, because Fossil Dig is just Oviraptor in disguise. I don't know if you look closely enough, you may be able to see the Oviraptor inside this rock. This is just Oviraptor in disguise. So basically we're going to go Misk first, just to make sure our dinos are protected. We're going to go Fossil Dig, grab us an Oviraptor, And we're going to go over Raptor here to search our deck for a Dino. We're going to grab the Pteranodon because we don't have any good targets. Our hand is that good. We're going to summon out the Archosaur. Archosaur, pop the baby to search for the double evolution pill. Baby then is going to summon for from the deck our Scrap Raptor, in which case we're going to get comboing. Popping the Raptor to search our deck for the Chimera. Chimera then on summon will resurrect the Raptor once again, enabling our Scrap combo, which we will then utilize. We're going to pop the Archosaur to put the baby back on field for our Scrap Wyvern, as we have been doing. Scrap Wyvern then will resurrect the Chimera and then immediately destroy it again to trigger its second effect to summon the Scrap Golem from deck and pop the baby. Baby, when popped, will summon forth a giant Rex Scrap Golem, then bringing back the Chimera, giving us our 2 level 4s needed for our Gallant Granite. Gallant Granite, of course, detaching a material like it always has been to summon out our Nemesis Keystone, or add it to hand for us to then summon out by returning Misk. Then we're going to Synchro Summon into the Naturia Beast, and I think it's at this point our opponent catches on that they can't win this game. We double evolution pill here to summon out our Overtex. We go into Giant Rex, and look at this. Not only does our deck have fantastic control, not only can this field turn into like a 16 material Apollousa, phenomenal control. Look at the amount of damage we've got on board. You tell me this isn't an OTK? Absolutely no chance you're surviving. I was actually tempted. At the time, I was thinking like, what about the video? I was tempted to go into main phase 2 just to go into Apollousa to show it off, but I'm sure you can use your imagination. You know? Pretty nuts. Naturia Beast going in for a game. Easy win against Orcust. Now, of course, we did have Maxi, we did have Ash. I'm not going to say this deck's better than Orcust. I'm not going to say it's going to happen every time. But what I'm saying is, your combos are almost as obnoxious as theirs. I'm gonna be real, your combos are almost as obnoxious. Now, Orcust mainly rely upon their monster effects, so your Naturia Beast isn't going to be the greatest thing in the world there, but that's where your Apollousa comes in, right? That's why you want to have as many monsters on board. In this matchup in particular, you want to be playing the 4 material Apollousa. Absolutely. So yeah, pretty solid gameplay, all facets included. Let's get into the deck profile. Alrighty, here is the deck. Now, why are we playing 45 cards? We are playing a couple of bricks in the deck that you really don't want to be seeing in your opening hand, right? You don't really want to be seeing the Archosaur, you don't really want to be seeing your double evolution pill, you don't really want to be seeing Keystone. The only card that is like really detrimental to open is Scrap Golem, and maybe your level 7 or higher dinos. Like, these 3 cards are pretty much the only cards you never want to open up with. The rest of them, you can still use them, it's just like you would rather have another card, right? It's not ideal. You're playing a few bricks, and because you're playing a few bricks, playing more than 40 cards makes it less likely for you to draw any individual card in the deck, which then makes your likelihood of drawing them a lot lower, right? It's as simple as that. More cards equals less likely to draw bricks, but it also makes you slightly less likely to draw your combo pieces as well, so take that as you will. You don't have to play 45 cards. Speaking of, we're going to start by cutting the fluff. We're going to start with the 2 effective Veilers, the 2 Maxi, the triple Ash Blossom, the double Ghost Bell, the Nibiru, the double Imperm, and I think that's it. Also, technically, really Small World. Small World was not that impressive, to be honest. I sort of liked its ability to turn our hand traps and our Archosaur into a Lithosagem, but it wasn't that impressive, I'm going to be honest. So Small World is totally optional as well. Now, how does the deck work? The deck works by summoning out your Naturia Beast, your Overtex Quatilus, as well as your Apollousa under ideal circumstances. That's generally how you want it to work. How does it do that? Through a number of 2-card combos. So there's nothing really in the deck that as a 1-card combo does anything itself, right? It needs to be at least 2 cards. The only thing is, 2-card combos are super common in this deck. So I'm going to take you through a number of them, right? So Animadorned Archosaur can be a starter. What do you want to see this with? You want to see this with Baby Sarasaurus or your Pteranodon. That's pretty much it for this guy. So if you see Animadorned and a baby, that's full combo. If you see Ovi and a baby, full combo OV plus Misk, full combo OV plus Lost World, full combo OV plus Terraforming, full combo OV plus Fossil Dig, full combo. So nuts. Oviraptor plus virtually any other useful dinosaur, full combo. OV plus Lithosagem is full combo as well. So that's good. Baby plus OV, Baby plus Misk, Baby plus Archosaur, Baby plus Lithosagem, Baby plus Fossil Dig. The Babies combo really well as 2. Then you've got Misk plus Baby, Misk plus Oviraptor, Misk plus Fossil Dig, Misk plus Field Spell, Misk plus... I think that's it for Misk. And Raptor, of course, Raptor is just crazy going into the scrap combo. That's separate though. Then you have Lithosagem, who will combo with Oviraptor, Fossil Dig, or a Baby. And yeah, so that is pretty much it. Now, by full combo, what do we actually mean, right? So what you need is essentially usually just a level 4 on board and your Scrap Raptor, right? So you want a level 4, any level 4, and Scrap Raptor. Scrap Raptor does the rest. This does everything else. So all of these two card combos, all they do is they set up a level 4 or more, sometimes more cards than just a level 4. But the main thing they do is they pop the Baby Ceratosaurus or the Petit Pteranodon. They pop a baby, which means you summon Scrap Raptor from deck. Scrap Raptor then does the rest. It starts the whole scrap combo that we displayed in the gameplay. Again, I'm not going to sit and explain the full thing because I showed it off like 4 times in the gameplay. So if you want to see the scrap combo, watch the games because I go through it step for step in like each game. So let's go through the deck one card at a time to sort of see what we're playing and why we're playing it. We've got the Animadorned Archosaur. This card is mainly here to be summoned off of Miscellaneousaurus' effect. So he's like a free summon from deck, and he also destroys a dino to search your deck for the Double Evolution Pill. Double Evolution Pill is really nuts, but the destruction of a dino is just as valuable. You want to be popping your babies. That's the whole point of the deck. The whole deck is pop the babies. So Archosaur will pop them to search for Double Evolution Pill. It's a free summon off Misk. Generally speaking, fantastic card. You don't like seeing it in your hand. If you're a mad lad, you would probably play it at 1. You can get away with playing it at 1, but if you open up with it, you're boned, right? Your life gets a lot harder. So I play 2 just out of safety. Same for Double Evolution Pill. I'm just a coward. Nemesis Keystone is a vital combo piece for your Naturia Beast. You're going to combine this guy with your Raptor to go into your Naturia Beast. This is going to be searched from your deck using Gallant Granite. So yes, a mandatory one of the triple baby and the one petite. These are your baby swords. When they're destroyed, you will summon a dino from your deck. Baby Ceratosaurus will be level 4 or lower dino. Petit Pteranodon is level 4 or higher. So the Baby Ceratosaurus is a lot more useful than the Petit Pteranodon, but both are good. Both of them will summon Scrap, both of them will summon Oviraptor, and other than that, their plays are rather limited anyway, so there's no massive distinction between the two. You've got the Giant Rex. Giant Rex is a level 4 Earth, right? Its main purpose is that it's a level 4, and that if it's ever banished, you can special summon it to your field. So it's an amazing extender in terms of setting up either an additional Exceed summon by banishing it from your graveyard off of your Double Evolution Pill, or it can be summoned at the end of your turn off of Pill in order to give your Apollousa an additional material. So Giant Rex is really, really good. You usually just sort of want to pitch this guy to the grave if you can, or maybe even summon him off a baby if you open up with a very good hand. But he's only really here to extend your board at the very end of your turn, to give like Apollousa an extra material, or to serve as Exceed material in a pinch. The Scrap Chimera, purely part of the Scrap combo. Watch the Scrap combo in the gameplay and you'll find out what Chimera does. Misk, the god card of Dinos himself, limited to 1 in the TCG. What does Misk do? Well, 2 main effects. Number 1, during the main phase of either player's turn, you can send it from hand to grave, and for the rest of that main phase, your dinos are invincible. They are unaffected by opponent's activated effects, which is amazing. There's nothing funnier than your opponent activating the Nibiru and just summoning it to their field and not tributing any of your dinos. There's nothing beats it, and Nibiru tributing nothing. It's amazing. It also has a second effect, where you can banish itself alongside any number of other dinos, so that you can special summon from your deck a dino monster whose level totals the number of monsters you banished. Usually you're just going to banish itself to summon a level 1 Archosaur. So he's basically just, he's protection and an extender all in one. Miscellaneousaurus, busted. Oviraptor is the glue, right? Oviraptor holds the whole deck together. On summon, you will either add from your deck to hand or deck to graveyard a dinosaur monster. Then you can target any level 4 or lower dino on the field, destroy it, and summon a dino back from your graveyard. That will work astoundingly well with your terraforming or your field spell. We're going to get to the field spell in a minute, but basically this guy, plus the field spell, allows you to pop a baby Ceratosaurus straight from your deck, which is incredible. So yeah, broken combo, helps you set up your misc, helps you set up your plays, helps combo with your Lithosagium. This card is busted. This basically holds everything together. Scrap Raptor, for the scrap combo, I'm not going to talk about the combo here. Watch it in the gameplay. It's way too much for me to talk about, but just watch the gameplay. He's just here as part of that combo. Easily searched for and summoned off of your babies. Easily searched for off of Fossil Dig. Yeah, generally speaking, phenomenal card. Scrap Golem, another part of that combo, don't worry about it. The Overtex Quadlus, right? This is going to be your main target to summon off of your double evolution build. The only issue with this is, right, you already have infinite spell and trap card negates. So this card isn't really all that valuable, honestly. At least not in the capacity with which it was designed to be useful in the deck. That's why we're playing an additional monster. But what does this guy do? Well, he basically can send a dino or destroy a dino in your hand or on your field to negate the activation of a spell or trap card. And if he's ever sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you get to search your deck for another double evolution pill. So he's kind of nice. My only problem is we already have Naturia Beast sort of doing that job. So I don't know. You decide what you want to do there. I still definitely think he's at least worth including. But yeah. Then we have your big dino of choice. I think playing at least one extra big dino is key. I like the Superconductor Tyranno. I like the Ultimate Tyranno. I think they're both fine. Just a lot of attack points, doing a lot of damage. Pretty straightforward. But yeah, the Superconductor Tyranno I think is better than the Ultimate Tyranno, because the Ultimate Tyranno, so long as it's face up, your other monsters can't attack, which can sometimes stop you going for a lethal play. So I think Superconductor Tyranno gives you a little bit more versatility and flexibility, which is very important. He's just another monster to be summoned off a double evolution pill, which we'll get to in a minute. We're running triple True King Lithosagium. Excellent starter card, as well as a pseudo boss in and of itself. You special summon it from your hand by destroying 2 other monsters, with at least one of them being Earth. So that, again, triggers your babies' effects by popping the babies. But another effect, if both of the monsters you destroy are Earth, then you get to look at your opponent's extra deck, pick 3 cards with different names, and banish them. That's amazing. Like, you know how many decks that instantly just beats? Like, you look at your opponent's deck, they're playing Orcust, you just banish their Galatea, you banish their Dingirsu, you banish whatever. And I believe they're banished... let me see. They're not banished face down, but they're banished improperly. So, I mean, it's just... It's so good. Being able to just look at your opponent's extra deck and just pick 3 cards and say, no. That's amazing. That, and it triggers your babies, it's extra material for your scrap combo. It's pretty nuts. I'm a huge fan of Lithosagium in this version of the deck, absolutely. Getting into the spells and traps, Terraforming, searches Lost World, simple as that. Double Evolution Pill, searchable off of Archosaur and Quadlus. Double Evolution Pill will banish a Dino and a non-Dino from your hand or your graveyard to summon a level 7 or higher Dino from your deck. Pretty straightforward, summoning out the Quadlus or the Tyranno. Pretty simple. Fossil Dig, search your deck for any level 6 or lower Dino, add it to your hand. Pretty nuts. Adding your Oviraptor, adding your Misc, adding your whatever. And it's not once per turn or restricted in any way. If you open up multiple of it, it's nuts. Talk about 2 card combos. Fossil Dig combos with Fossil Dig, which combos with Fossil Dig. Crazy. And then lastly, Lost World. One of the better field spells in the game. This card is pretty nuts. First of all monsters on the field except dinos lose 500 attack and defense, which isn't the greatest thing in the world because it does clash with your Appaloosa. But it is something worth bearing in mind. In a simplified game state, that's pretty good. Now, if a dino is summoned once per turn, you get to summon to your opponent's field a Dureg token. So long as your opponent controls a Dureg token, they can't target any monsters on the field with card effects, full stop, except for the Dureg token, which gives you an amazing amount of protection from any deck that aims to target your cards. Astounding. Now, whenever a normal monster on the field would be destroyed, you can protect it by destroying a dino in your deck instead. So that's going to combine with the effect of things like your Oviraptor, who will target the Dureg token, attempt to destroy it to revive a monster back from grave, then you protect the token using your Lost World to instead destroy a Baby Sarasaurus straight from your deck. So it's little combos like that that make the field spell absolutely disgusting. So 100% I think 3 of is mandatory. This card is busted. Getting into the extra deck then, first of all, the man of the hour, the Naturia Beast. Whenever a spell card is activated, I think I kept continually call him a spell and trap negate. He's not, he's just spell cards. Barkion is trap cards. Naturia Beast, infinite spell card negate. When your opponent activates a spell card, send 2 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard to negate the activation and destroy it. No restriction, no once per turn, no once per chain, no nothing, just negate spell. Spell cards are now illegal. We got Barkion, which sort of does the same thing except for traps. I don't think I have ever summoned Barkion. It is good for certain matchups, right? So I think it is definitely worth including if you have it. I've yet to summon it, but at the same time, it's super easy to summon. And there are certain matchups where this will dominate. Instead of sending from deck to graveyard, you'll banish from your graveyard, which means that it will be limited by the number of cards in your grave. But that's not going to be a massive concern. You're going to have a fair few. Next for our level 8s, we have the Scrap Dragon. Pop a card on your field and theirs. It's really good spot removal, very easy to summon. I'm just a big fan of this card in general. I think it's pretty fire. Then we've got the Dino Wrestler Giga Spino Savant. This card looks dope. Look at that art. That is so cool. I just love the colors. But basically, it's got some interesting effects, right? If it attacks, your opponent can't activate spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. So it's sort of like Ancient Geary in that way. Your opponent can't attack anything except this guy. You can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it once per turn. And if this card will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy another card you control instead. So he's got a really strange sort of pick and mix of abilities here. It's a really strange sort of culmination of abilities. They do make it somewhat tough. It's definitely not invincible, right? It's not invincible. But it is pretty difficult to get rid of sometimes. Like, if you can't just outright destroy it, right? Because it can protect itself by destroying something else I control instead. It's 3k attack. All of your cards are being reduced by 500 by Lost World. You can't activate spells or traps if I attack, which isn't the biggest of deals. It can pop a monster once per turn. It's generally just kind of cool. So I think it's worth including. It's not, again, going to be winning you games single-handedly, but a little bit of spot removal goes a long way. Speaking of spot removal, the Scrap Twin Dragon, amazing monster here. Target a card you control and 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy yours, and return your opponent's ones back to the hand. So you're not even destroying them, not sending to the graveyard, we're bouncing them back to hand, which is really good, really good. If it's ever sent to your graveyard by your opponent's card, you can resurrect a non-synchro scrap monster as well, so it'll be able to bring back something like your Golem, which will then bring back more cards, and it just goes a little bit nuts from there. So Scrap Twin Dragon is really good. I'm a big fan of this card. I don't use it very much, but when it comes up, it's really strong. Getting into our Exceed monsters, we've just got two level 4s. Most of the good ones are banned in this event, you know, like your Evolve Swords and things. So Gallant Granite is core mandatory. You need it to search your deck for Keystone. Dugaris is just nice. I mean, on occasion he's useful. I don't use this card very often. The draw 2 can sometimes be useful. You're more often going to use the double attack in order to push for lethal off of something like your... So if you're playing like the Ultimate Tyranno, that's why I initially wanted to play Ultimate Tyranno. Right? Where are we? Here. So if you play Ultimate Tyranno and then double his attack points off of Dugares, that's a 6,000 attack monster that's able to attack everything your opponent controls. That's pretty nuts. I would say to that though, it's not the biggest of deals. Dugares, you're not going to use it very often. Then our link package, it is mostly generic links, right? Link Karibo, generic link to put Archosaur and Grave. Nightmare, Phoenix, and Cerberus, both generic links. IP Mask, Karina, and Unicorn, generic links. Apollosa is, usually this is a generic link, but not in this deck. In this deck, Apollosa is mandatory, 100,000%, because you're going to be comboing it with Naturia Beast. That means no monster effects and no spell cards. That makes it very difficult for your opponent to play the game. And our last generic link is Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, just like an extra deck Kaiju. It's hard to beat. I've explained these cards a million and one times. But yeah, generic links that are really good to have. The only one that isn't a generic link is the Scrap Wyvern, which is a key part of the Scrap combo during the gameplay. So this card is absolutely mandatory to be playing in the deck. It's going to enable your whole Naturia Beast play. So yeah, this card is pretty mental. I think I'm going to build another pure Dino deck for a regular ranked ladder around the Scrap combo, just utilizing this card to see how good we can make it. But yeah, that is the full deck. Again, if you're a fan of Dinos, or if you're a fan of sort of off-meta strategies, but you still want to combo off like a madman, this is the deck for you. It is a little bit complicated, and it is definitely a combo player's dream. So if that's the playstyle you're into, absolutely, pick it up, play it. It's really good. Only if you have the cards. It can be a wee bit pricey. You do have, you know, the URs with the Overraptors and the Fossil Digs. The URs here with your Scrap cards. So it's a little bit pricey, I'm not gonna lie. It was handy enough for me because I had sort of built all of these cards up over time. But if you don't have these cards and you're only watching this to find out like what's the best decks for the event, this is not going to be one of the best decks, and it's not worth crafting for the cost if you don't just really want to play Dinos. So if you have the cards for Dinos, absolutely pick it up and play it. If you don't have the cards but you want to play Dinos, absolutely 100%. I couldn't recommend a deck more than Dinos, right? It's one of my favorites. It's always been one of my favorites, and now that I've been playing it a lot more recently, I think that going forward we're going to be seeing Dinos on the channel a good little bit, because it has to be one of the most fun strategies to play. But yes, with that, I'm going to stop rambling here. If you've made it to this point in the video and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? You might as well. If you're already here, you might as well subscribe and like the video, and tell me down below what you're using in the event so that we can sort of see what exactly is the most popular. And with that, I am going to sign off. See you on the next one. Bye bye.